Hi everyone, welcome to another Tales and Tales program. Today I'm going to have two videos, so you'll want to make sure you're watching the right one. One is going to be for the folding book animal, and one is going to be for the cut and fold. So this one's going to be a little bit longer and it's going to be a little more detailed, and this one will be a little bit shorter depending on the pages you have. So just make sure you're watching those videos, the right one that goes with your kit that you picked up. And just to let you know, I'll put a link down below the video for the website where I got a lot of the patterns. I did get some from some other sites, but this one in particular has quite a few free patterns, and they include some of the top fan favorites. They've got words if you want to do something for a gift or a holiday or a special event. And they've got some other things that are just, you know, pretty things, flowers and things like that. So I will put the links for those, but they also do have some fan favorites. I know a lot of people would probably like those, things like Mickey Mouse, Batman, you know, stuff like that. So I will put the link below for the site that has those. You do have to register like an account, but it's a zero charge and they email you. You can go into your account to download them, or you can go through your email. So I will include that down below the video. Also, as you're doing these, just take a break once in a while. Bending over the book for a long time, pressing down the pages to make the creases. Your hands and your neck can get a little tired, so just take a break once in a while if you need to. And we would love to see some of your finished products to see how they all look. We've got the koala here and the elephant here, but I'd love to see some of the other animals and see how they turned out. Also, I want to go ahead and take a moment now to mention our programs coming up. The next 3 programs are actually going to be live through Zoom. We'll be doing an owl dissection, so you would pick up your kit with your owl pellet, and then we're going to go live while we dissect them so that we can share with each other as we're finding things. And you'll get a sheet that'll kind of give you some ideas of what you might be looking at as you're going through those. So that'll be fun, and we'll learn a little more about owls. And then the next 2 are going to be games. So the first one is going to be Animal Olympics. So I'm going to give you a question like the fastest land animal, and I'm going to give you 3 animals, and you're going to tell me which one got the gold, the silver, and the bronze. And we'll do that for some kind of animal trivia. And then the third video online live is going to be a bring your own book game. So what you'll do is we'll start the game and you'll bring a book. I will give you some kind of prompt. The one that we have down in the lobby is describe the inside of a beehive. And so you'll just open your book and try and find a sentence that would fit that prompt. And then we'll kind of vote on who's got the funniest answer, the best answer, the worst answer, and play a game that way. It could be something like who let the dogs out? What is the worst toy to give a cat? What did the vet say to the squirrel? You know, things like that. And you're going to find quotes in books. And then occasionally we may just decide that you need to go grab another book in your house, and we'll give you a minute to go grab one, and we'll do some more. So it should be a fun game, and we'll get some prizes and things for both that and the Animal Olympics. So we'd love to have you join us live for all 3 of those. You can register online, and then we'll email you the code for the Zoom meeting to join us. And those should be fun. And hopefully, if things go well with the mandates and such, we might be able to do an outdoor celebration for the end of our summer reading. So we're excited, looking forward to possibly doing that. Please keep turning in your reading logs. We're doing drawings weekly for teens and adults. So if you'll just turn in those reading logs, we'll draw names and get prizes for people. Together we've got little prize packages. And then I also wanted to remind you that last week we did not have a video, but the Jumanji escape room is on the website, so you can go to that. I do ask you at the end if you wouldn't mind filling out just a 1-page thing with also additional ideas for some future escape rooms. The virtual escape room is nice. We can do ones in the library once we reopen fully, but it's also nice to do some online ones, so if it's rainy or snowy, there'd be stuff for you guys to do at home. So if you'd love, you know, if you like the Jumanji escape room and would like to see some more, we'd love to get some ideas of what topics you might like. We've done a Harry Potter one before live here. So, you know, we'd love to have some more ideas too. So if you'll let us know what you think of that, and if you'll go in and see what you think of those puzzles for Jumanji. They're a lot of fun. I've had a few people go through them to test out some of the questions before we put them on there. So it's a neat game, and it's just a Google Doc that you go through and answer questions. So, but make sure you have a pen or a pencil and paper. You might need it for some of the questions. So go online to our summer reading page to see that, and to also register for our next 3 live sessions. Really looking forward to those and being able to talk with you guys and get to know you a little better and play some games. So next you'll see the video. We've got one for folding and one for fold and cut. So just make sure you're looking at the one that's needed for you and for your kit that you picked up. And I can't wait to see what you're able to do with those repurposed books. Our book sale room downstairs has reopened. So if you decide you like doing this and you want to get another book, the books downstairs range from 50 cents up to $5, so not bad for possibly making a gift or even something for your home. Also a great project to do with a book that you really love, especially if there's something that has just always been a favorite. There's someone I know who really loves To Kill a Mockingbird, and I'd love to do a bird one with a copy of the book. So just think about that, and we'd love to see you. We are open now from 10 to 6, Monday through Friday, and 10 to 1 on Saturdays. So we'd love to have you come visit and check out some more books. And we hope you're enjoying your summer and enjoying all these programs, and hopefully we'll see you live in a few weeks, and have fun doing your books. Thank you for joining us. Hello everyone, and welcome to our Tails and Tales animal book folding. This video that you're watching now is for the fold and cut. So if you are only doing the folding and no cutting, you're going to want to stop this video and watch the previous one, the other one that's on our website. This is the example of the fold and cut we have on the display, and in our pictures is an elephant that we have done. In your kit that you picked up, you should have had a ruler, a pencil, the pattern for the animal that one of the animals you had as your top 3. I'm gonna use this hippo one as an example. And then you should have had a book, a hardback book. The other things you are going to need, you're going to need scissors for cutting. You may want to have a spoon, and I'll tell you why. And you may want some kind of large rubber band, some kind of ribbon. This is more like a present type ribbon, or you could use a cloth ribbon. That's just an added thing that you may want, and I will explain that as we go along. So the first thing we're going to do is look at your pattern. So yours is going to look something like this, where it has a number, and then it has 2 measurements, and then number 2, and it might be blank, or it could have measurements, either one. 3 measurements, 4 measurements, or blank. So what that first number is the leave of the book, which that means it's the front and back of one page. So when you look at your pattern, this one that I have here has 271 leaves. So that means if I multiply it by 2, the book I needs to be at least 542 pages. So if you start looking at patterns online, you'll want to think about that as you're trying to pick a pattern for a specific book, or vice versa. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you get your book is look to see how many numbered pages there are. So in my book, the pages are numbered in the upper right-hand corner, which this is a nonfiction book. So I've got 531 here, so 532 is going to be my total for my numbered pages. I'm not going to include this back sheet here. Front, same thing. I've got this sheet, but then I have pages that aren't numbered, so I'm going to count those. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I see a big 1, which is the chapter, but let me check the page numbers. Okay, so that is actually page 1. So 532 numbered pages plus the 12 unnumbered I just counted puts us at 544 pages. So this book is exactly the right size. Now if I subtract those numbers, I have 2 pages left. So that would just be one page blank. So you could either leave that in the book or you can tear that out, but I would wait till you're done just to be sure that you've got your numbers right. So I'm just gonna leave that page right now. So your next numbers are your measurements, and those are gonna be in centimeters. And let me show you on your ruler, you might see here on the end of the ruler, the 0 is not all the way at the end. So make sure that you keep that in mind as you're marking your pages, because you wanna make sure that you've got them as close to each other. Now, this is not a project for a perfectionist. It can be, but you know, you're not gonna be doing exact measurements as far as you want to have them all start at the same spot and you want to have them close together, but it's, you know, if it's not exact, that's fine. So what you're going to do is, my pattern for the first page, and I've already done just a few pages to kind of show you, you're going to line up the 0 at the very top right corner. You're going to have the spine towards you. And my first measurements are 10.6 and 12.9. So I'm just gonna go in here on my centimeters, which is my smaller one, and I'm gonna mark the 10.6 and the 12.9, and I'm just gonna put a little dash. Now for my pattern, and a lot of the cut and folds have this, it then says page 2 and there's nothing there. So that means you're gonna have a page in between that has no marks on it. So then you're gonna go to 3 and you're gonna mark the next one. And I like to check them off as I go, just so that I can be sure that I'm on the right page. And I'm gonna go to the pages where I stopped. I just wanted to get a few marks so I could show you what we're gonna be doing. So it looks like I stopped right here. Let me make sure that's the right one. I show that the last page I did was 9.1 and 13.9, that looks right. So then I'm going to, that's the page I marked, I'm gonna skip one, and I'm gonna go to the next page. So my next page, it says, let me line that up. It says 9, which is gonna be right here, and 14.1, so that's gonna be about right there. And then I'm gonna mark that off. And these, for my pattern, the first two only have a couple of marks. I'm gonna skip one, and my page 11 is going to be, this one has 5 measurements, so we're gonna mark these pages. And you're gonna do 9.1, and then I have a 10, and I have a 10.4, and a 12.8, and a 13, and a 14.2. Now you're going to notice as you do this that some of the pages, the marks might seem a little close together, but it's all going to work out fine, so just keep marking. And you're going to go through the entire pattern that way, all the way to wherever your last page is, which for me is going to be the very last page. So there's going to be a lot of pages. So as you're marking, you have a couple of choices of the way to do this. So what they suggest when doing these is to cut your marks 2 centimeters in. So there's 2 ways to do that. As you're marking your pages, you could go ahead and draw a line 2 centimeters in. And that would make, if you're a perfectionist and you want to make sure they all have the exact same measurement, you could do that. However, when I did, I kind of thought of a little shortcut that makes it a little bit easier, but it's not quite as precise. And that is, I marked my scissors with a piece of masking tape. Let me show you that. So I took the tip of my scissors, and I took my ruler, and I went about 2 centimeters in, and I put a little piece of tape. You can see it doesn't go all the way down because that might mess up when I'm cutting. But I just put kind of like a little tab on the top of the scissors, so that when I go to cut, I can actually just go to that line and snip. And I know I've got about a 2 centimeter mark. So those are gonna be my cuts on my first page. Right now, you're just gonna cut. So then you're gonna go to the next page, you skip it, And remember, this is after you've marked all your pages, because you want to make sure didn't leave any out or anything like that. And you're just going to snip. And remember, all these marks are pencils, so you can always erase whatever, if there's a mistake or if they're showing when you're done snipping and you don't like the way they're showing, you can always use your eraser and clean it up. How precise you may be may depend on what this is for, if this is for your own home or if it's a gift or that sort of thing. So with the folding one, you don't really have a lot of choice in how you do your pages. So with this one, we are going to have a little bit of choice. On the one that I did for the display with the elephant, I left all the pages that have no marks the way they were. So they are actually in between each of the pages. I'm going to show you this real quick. So these are some that are close together. So you're going to want to try and get straight in so that you don't have them go crooked and cut a piece off, because you don't want to cut a piece. Some of these are kind of close together. If you have great scissors, that's even better. These are a little tighter, but I like that because they're nice and precise. So if you have small scissors for embroidery or something, that might be good too. So let me show you what I mean by the other book we did. So when I did the elephant one for a display, you can see each blank page in between. I just left it the way it was. If you wanted to make your design even more prominent, one suggestion that they have is to take these pages, and when you're folding them, you would actually fold these pages just a little bit. No cutting, just folding. So I'm going to show you both of those. So you're going to go through and you're just going to keep on cutting all your marks. And so then you're going to get to, when you get to the very end, you're going to be ready to start folding. And let me show you what I want to show you by just kind of the different ways you can fold. So you can fold it either so that your image kind of is more in the book or it protrudes more out of the book. Now the elephant one we did is more in the book. The design is kind of in the pages. And so these, you start out with not folding the first one, folding the second, leave the third, fold the fourth, and you go back and forth. And however you start the top of your page is also going to be the way you end your page. So if you don't have a fold to start, you shouldn't have a fold to end. If you do, that means you probably missed a mark or something like that. So you're going to want to check that as you go if there's an issue. And trust me, I did have some of those. I fixed them. It's okay. Again, this is not the project for a perfectionist necessarily, although you could take your time and really spend a lot of time making it look perfect. So just to give you an idea, that's how it looks if it's inside kind of the page. Now this one, I went ahead and did some pages ahead of time to show you what it would look like if you wanted your design more to stick out. Now keep in mind, this is supposed to be a hippo. That's its nose right there. Starting to see the top of its ears and head. So depending on whether you want it to go into the book or outside of stick out more would be the way that you would fold. So on the elephant, you start with not folding the first one. For this hippo, you actually do fold the first one. So you have a fold, no fold, fold, no fold, fold. Skip that one page and do the same again. So it's always going to be one way or the other, and you're going to want to be consistent all the way through the book. Now, the reason you have a spoon is because your fingers may get a little tired folding all these, and the more you crease them, the better the book goes together to make your picture. So, without it being too kind of fluffy. So you can actually use your spoon to kind of push down these creases, and you'll be pushing them on a flat, like if you were doing the very last page, you won't have folded the ones underneath it yet, so it makes it a little easier, and you can kind of flatten those out. Now you can tell I am not a perfectionist on this. I did not do the perfectionist measurements, but you can see that you can still see the design because there's going to be more than one page that kind of shows your design. The lines are thicker than that, so it does not have to be exact, just to let you know. Now for these, I left the again, I left those in between pages alone. However, let me show you. They also said that you could do every other page with a fold. So let's see what that looks like. So you cut in approximately 2 centimeters, and they're saying if you're gonna do the fold, to do it about 1 centimeter in. So it's not very much, but if you would like to do that, you could. So you would actually, and you don't even need to mark it, because you can just use the top or bottom of the page as your guide, unless you, again, want to be very exact. And you would just fold it down the page. And this would be a lot easier to do if you do it as you're folding, not after, because I'm doing it now, it's kind of on a bumpy surface, as you can see. So you would fold each in-between page that has no cuts. And because I've already done my cuts, I'm able to kind of just fold it in half. I know that's where that mark is, but you could actually measure, or that's up to you how you want to do that. Now again, for example, let me just show you. On this one, you can see a little bit of my pencil marks. You could go through and erase those. Again, it's your matter of what matters to you and whether that kind of thing would bug you that you could see it. And also, like I said, if you were giving this as a gift, you might be a little more particular about how it looks, or, and there's a lot of great ideas on for patterns. They're all free. You do sign up by email, but you do not have to sign up to get any kind of additional emails. I've been signed up with them for a few months now, and I have not gotten a bunch of junk email. The only email I get is the confirmation when I've actually gotten a pattern, which you kind of put it in a basket, and then they send you a confirmation when you, quote, purchase it, even though it's free. And so you just keep going like that. So you could potentially also do your pattern like that. And again, that would probably make it show even more, and make it protrude. Like we said, this is to make it protrude outward. This is gonna make it protrude even more. So just depending on how you like it, I'm gonna do a few more just so we can keep seeing how that looks. As I'm doing this, I'll tell you that the website for the free patterns has a lot of different ones. They have animals, they have nature, they have holiday. One of the favorite ones, I have a feeling though that most people would enjoy, and I think I might try some of them, are they have some fan favorite ones, which are, you know, Batman and Mickey Mouse and some of those popular characters. You can sign up for email if you want to know when they're going to have new patterns. There are also sites where you can pay for patterns that you download, but you just get them on your computer or your email, and you can print them at home, or you could even come in the library and print them. And some of the patterns seem long, but once you start going, it really doesn't take long to do this. They also have some word ones, so if you have a word that means a lot to you, you could do that. They have some that are, you know, things like believe and strength, and you could put those kind of words into a book and put it on your shelf if that's something you'd like to see as a daily reminder. And again, I think this would be a great way to honor if you had a favorite book or something like that. For example, if you know your child grew up loving Mickey Mouse and you have a Mickey Mouse book that maybe they're not going to read, but you think it would be a neat way to kind of recycle that book and make a gift for them to remember their childhood, or if they have a favorite book like To Kill a Mockingbird and you would like to do a bird one, there's some great ideas. And because of this project, we also got a new book for our library collection called the Repurposed Library. You may have seen it at the beginning of the video. And it has all kinds of projects and things you can do with books. So you can see that the design is protruding even more. You can see kind of some of the nose there. Now, when you go to put your book on display, you can just stand it up and it will be fine on your display and you'll be able to see your design. However, if it's a really large one, a really large pattern, or you think you can see the picture better when it's kind of spread out or squished together, or whatever the pattern is, it depends kind of how detailed it is, you may want to consider either using like a large packaging type rubber band or something like that, or you can use ribbon. And so what you can do is take your ribbon and tie it into a bow to hold the book the width you like it. And that way you know it won't slide out on you at all, even if the pages are kind of poofy or whatever. And so you could leave it like that. You could turn the ribbon to the back, but that way your book won't open any more than that. You can still see the pattern. And if you wanted to do something nicer with a nicer ribbon, you could even glue the ribbon either on the outside or the inside, or use like a cloth type ribbon. You could also put the bow in the back if you don't want to see it. And if you want something clear, you could probably use a nylon thread or fishing line and tie it. But that'll keep your book from kind of spreading too much, so that you make sure you can still see your design. I think this is especially helpful on the cut and fold ones, because sometimes the folds can be a little bulky, but also on this one. And you will have some folds, just so you know, that are super, super tiny. For example, this is where, if you look where his eye, the elephant's eye is, there's a lot there. So you can see, I mean, this fold is super, super tiny. So you're just gonna wanna be careful when you're cutting that you try to do these lines either a little bit outward or at least apart from each other, so you don't cut that off. So take your time, take a break once in a while, because leaning over the book and using the scissors and folding, your hands and your neck will get a little tired. So take a break once in a while. And we hope you've enjoyed this project. And we would love to see pictures of what some of those patterns look like. There's some great patterns out there, and you guys have gotten some of them, and I'd love to see what other ones look like. We've only tried a few here, but we'd love to see what you've made at home out of these books, and see maybe what some other ideas are that you have. So we'd love for you to share those with us. You can email us or put them on our Facebook page, and share with us that way. So we hope you had fun with this project. Our next 3 Tails and Tales will be live, as I told you in the beginning, and you can sign up for those online. And thank you for joining us, and enjoy your book art.